This is how I learned front-end development in 4 weeks and built my first website in the 5th week. In this video, I'm going to share with you a complete guide on how I did to learn front-end development fast and how I did to build my first website in relatively no time. So I know a lot of you, when you hear about programming, when you hear about coding, you think of something that is very difficult. Some people even look at coding and see it as something that is out of this world. But let me tell you that coding can be very easy, provided you put your mind into it. So for anybody thinking that it's impossible to learn how to build very nice websites in less than 3 months, let me tell you that you're wrong. You can learn how to build websites in relatively no time if you put your mind into it. And in this video, I'm going to share with you what I did to get started. Like many people learning how to code, I was also a very big victim of tutorial hell. Tutorial hell is a very unpleasant place to find yourself stuck in. It is a stage where you constantly look for new tutorials, move from one tutorial to the next, and only keep turning around while not actually making real progress. All you do is copy and paste from tutorials and not actually learn what the tutorials are trying to teach you. And I was stuck in tutorial hell for a big while before I finally unlocked a new power. That is the power of learning fast. To learn front-end development as quickly as I did these 4 main things. The first thing I did was to focus. Yes, as you heard me, all you need to do is to be able to focus for a very long period of time. If you want to learn how to code in a relatively short period of time, you have to be able to focus for long hours. So what I did is that I started coding for 5 to 8 hours every single day. I know most people, when they hear that, they think that is too much. But if you really want to learn how to code fairly quickly, you have to be willing to sacrifice. And the easiest thing to sacrifice, the thing that everybody has, is time. So I sacrificed my time. I was spending 5 to 8 hours learning front-end development every single day. The second thing I did was practice CSS very well. The main thing you need to take note of when learning front-end development is that you're going to be dealing a lot with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Along the way, you probably need to learn a new library or framework like React.js. But at the beginning, it's very important to have the basics in place, that is HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. HTML is really easy to get started with, it's very easy to understand. CSS is also very easy to get started with, but it gets more difficult as you move forward. That is when you really want to do a little bit more complex design. CSS can get very confusing, and at times you can even feel very frustrated as you're not making any real progress. So I was really having a little background on HTML and CSS, but CSS, I wasn't really good at it because I really did not know what I was doing. So I had to start CSS from scratch. And the way I did to get good at CSS quite fast was I cloned my favorite website. So the way I did is that the website that I used to learn CSS is called W3 Schools. So all I did is that I put W3 Schools aside, that is on a different screen. Since I have 2 screens, I put W3 Schools website on one screen, and on the other screen, I was just trying to clone the website. So anything I see on the website, I try to replicate it on my own web page. So doing that at the beginning was very challenging. I wasn't yet even a little bit good at CSS, so I had to make a lot of research while doing the project. I had to make a lot of research, I had to do a lot of trial and error, inspect the code of the website. But ultimately, while doing this thing every single day, it just started to click. Like, things started becoming more instinctive, like knowing when to put a padding instead of a margin, knowing when to put the colors this way or the colors that way and border, all those kind of things. So after building the first website and cloning my first website, I went over and cloned Docker, I cloned YouTube. So basically I cloned several websites. And by the time I was already cloning my 10th website, I was already feeling really comfortable with CSS. The third thing I did, obviously this one is very obvious, was to practice JavaScript. I did not really go in depth with JavaScript because I'm somebody who is very driven by a goal. So I knew that going very deeply into JavaScript wasn't going to be of help in the job market because a lot of people do not use vanilla JavaScript. Like a lot of companies do not use vanilla JavaScript. Most companies use libraries like React.js and Angular, and React.js was the most popular. So I just spent a couple of days learning JavaScript because I already had a good background in Java. So the basics of JavaScript was just what I already knew in Java, that is for loops, variable declaration, all those kind of stuff. Then after few days, I went straight into React.js. React.js was quite challenging because, to be honest, React.js is nothing like Java. The way things work in React.js is very different from the way things work in Java. In Java, you have variable declarations. In React, you have states. So it took me a little while to get used to React.js. I took a very good YouTube tutorial. It was actually a 10-hour tutorial. I went through the tutorial to about 7 hours. Then I started practicing everything I learned in the tutorial. All the websites I'd cloned, I tried to make them responsive using React.js. So only practice and practice helped me get really better at React.js. The last thing I did that really helped me practice a lot and that really helped me get good at front-end development was finding a problem to solve and actually solving the problem using the skills I learned. And now I didn't only start focusing on how to solve the problem, I also tried to focus on how to develop a compelling user interface for any user other than myself to be able to build it. That was extremely helpful and really helped me understand the importance of user experience and user interface designing. So if you want to learn front-end development quickly, know that it's very possible, but you have to put in a lot of time and effort. I know you're going to do that because I know you watching this video are very determined. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, leave a like. If you do not like it, tell me why in the comment section, and see you in the next one.